Welcome to the Farside channel. This is our series on business owner challenges. And today I am joined by Rhona McCormick of Transform Content Media. Rhona is a copywriter who specializes in helping holistic companies get copy into their blogs and their websites and anywhere actually that they would like it that resonates with their ideal customer. So, Rhona, thank you for joining me today. I hope I got the company name right. I felt like as I was saying it, I got it slightly wrong.
You were close. Transform Content Marketing. So you did well. 2 out of 3. Yeah, and the main reason for that is that as well as copywriting typically is only sales information, sort of sales pages and more promotional content, but other content can be anything. So it could be a case study or email sequence or a podcast show notes. So that's why it's content marketing and not copywriting.
Perfect. Yes, that's a good explanation. So we've kind of covered it, but tell me how exactly you solve problems for your clients and why you got into this in the first place.
Okay, well, the reason I first got into writing was actually through my brother, who was a video editor, and he did a video editing project for someone who's a copywriting coach, who helps stay-at-home mums work from home and create, be able to create income to contribute to their family, and it's got flexibility. So I started off really learning some of that material and worked freelancing for about a year just through Upwork, and I was really lucky. I got a really good contact who gave me a lot of work, but the subject matter, shall we say, was not something that I particularly enjoyed always, because it was a digital marketing agency. You just took the jobs that they gave you and you didn't have any opportunity to choose your own niche. And I remember having a big project to do of email sequences for a online e-commerce store which sold Imperial China, Dynasty China, and I had to research all about all the dynasties and all the wars, and the client just wanted to sell the things and wanted all the links to go back to the website, and he didn't understand the sort of nurturing process that's involved in email, sort of weekly or bi-monthly newsletters. People, you've got to try and think about your customer journey and not just sell. They need to sort of build the know, like, and trust factor, and you show that you're an authority and all this kind of thing. But he just wanted to link everything, and I just thought it took up so much of my time, and I just thought, I don't want to do this. I don't want to write about things that just are just like feel totally out of my depth and overwhelming, and thought I want to really write about things that are of interest to me and where I feel I can make a difference. So the reason I chose the holistic and sort of well-being sector is because that's somewhere that I have a strong alignment. I'm a Reiki practitioner myself, and I am interested in sort of mental health and well-being and self-care, and these sort of people in the healing and holistic world, I think, are so talented, but they don't automatically know how to be a marketer or know how they've got their own amazing skill sets, but they don't share the same skills that I have. So my view is I can help more people in the world by there's so much pain and so many illnesses, and holistic therapies can really make a difference to people. So by helping them with their marketing, I kind of feel like I'm helping sort of spread the word and helping the healing journey of people, even though I don't do any healing myself. So that's sort of my contribution, and that's part of my like personality, I guess. I really to an annoying extent, probably sometimes I'm a fixer, I'm a helper. I always like want to try and give suggestions and make things better for people. So that's really why I chose that sector.
I think that's wonderful, and I think it's a wonderful reason to choose the sector. I am also called the fixer in my family,
Mhm.
so I understand that wish to want to help and want to feel like even though it's work, and yes, it's a business, you want to know that it's having a good result and that it's helping people. It's not just a product at the end of the day. So I fully understand that. I think it's a wonderful reason to have chosen the industry that you did. And of course, as you say, as a Reiki practitioner yourself, you understand the industry, which makes it a lot easier for you to write content and to resonate with the nurturing sequences that you have to write and the encouragement that you're putting into that content. So I think
Yeah,
that's
absolutely. I know it's maybe not very complimentary, but to some people, I'll say my ideal target audience is a holistic practitioner that has a really obviously poor website, and that sounds maybe a little bit harsh, but it's just you see so many of them that on their homepage it says hello, my name is, and I'm a, and it tells you about them and their skill set, which is all absolutely wonderful information, and I'm not in any way disputing their skills, but that should be on the About Us page, and the homepage should be about the visitor and what they, you know, the benefits of the services, like what are you going to do for them, because they're not interested in the particular person whose website they're on. They're interested, they're there for a reason, they're there to get a solution to a problem that they're facing. And so that's you know, that's my sort of where I can easily see that I can help is when I come across a website like that and think, oh, if you just, you know, you can just change all the information about a little bit. It's like the same sort of content, but it's just going to help you connect better with the people who are visiting.
Yes, it's amazing. Hey, that is actually also a problem in my industry, in accounting.
Mm.
Most accounting websites do the same thing. Hi, we're accountants and we're certified with this body, and we have so many years of qualifications and so many years of experience,
Exactly,
um,
that is very similar.
and it's the same thing when someone goes to your website. They don't really care. What they want to know is, can they sleep well tonight because you've taken their taxes off their hands or you've dealt with a
Mm-hmm.
money issue for them. They don't really care what my name is or how I ended up here. They just want to know that I can solve their problem. So I understand that what you're saying 100%. You know, if I've got body pain, I don't really care who you are. I'll read about you afterwards, but what I want to know right now is, can you take this pain
They help.
away? Um,
Exactly.
and yeah, that's definitely what your clients are looking for when they do a search. So that makes 100% sense to me.
That's good. Glad you understand. And yeah, that's really powerful examples as well. I'm thinking, do I want to reach out to some accountants now?
Yeah, no, yeah, you could probably do a lot of good for accountants, let me tell you. Um, there's a lot out there that would need their websites reworded. But Rhona, tell me, so today we're talking about business owner challenges, and I mean, we've actually already touched on the challenges your clients face, which is getting their clients to notice them and give them a call. But what has been your personal biggest challenge in building your business?
For me, it's always got to be time. I still have a part-time job, and I have another project that I'd work on, and I have lots of ideas, and I have lots of, you know, like I've created a database, for example, of people to pitch to, and it's still just sitting in a database because I've not had time. My I'm aware of some of my blocks or limits. I've got a touch of the procrastination. I'm like pretty good at that, it seems. So I've got, you know, the most beautiful Trello board that's got all the contacts and it's got the email sequences, and you know, I've maybe started it and then ignored all the dates I'd set myself to follow up. And again, it's just been time. And the more that you sort of get involved with, like I'm part of Explore Protech, which is just a wonderful networking group. And, you know, I'm also guilty of shiny object syndrome, because when you know, you're having coffee chats with other people or you go to a networking event, you're like, oh, I want to do this, or I want to help them, and you feel at times you know, get pulled in all directions. And I guess as well, the sort of lack of, I would say that I really just want someone to tell me what to do. I just want step by step, get up in the morning and do this, like send these 5 emails, like do this on social media, or, you know, just have like a proper mapped out strategy, but that's got sort of a daily actions, if you like, because otherwise I've find myself just feel like you're spread too thin. You're not really following a particular plan or a business model, or you're just sort of, you know, saying, oh yeah, I'll go to that. Another thing that I've been really guilty of is there's been a confidence issue, because I'm not like a business owner going from freelancing to come in. You're not. I'm always very careful about the offers. Like I didn't have a defined offer. Sort of this traditional marketing type of strategy would be is to have one offer that you're like. So for example, I would say like I'm an expert in podcast show notes, and then that's what you become. That's your like key skill, and that's where you have your focus, and you can make claims like you'll you know, that really helps with SEO. So you can, you know, say to people like, if I do your show notes for you, you'll see an increase in your like web traffic or whatever. But I thought, well, I don't really want to do just podcast show notes, or I didn't want to sort of pin myself down to one thing. And I think the other thing for me, because I've chosen the sort of holistic sector, I have a holistic view of other people's businesses. Like I don't want to just try and sell them something. I genuinely want to help, and I want to see so whatever that they need help with. So because I can write about whatever they want, if it's an email sequence, if it's a sales sequence, if it's a sales page, if it's social media content, if it's blogs, if it's a case study, I'm happy to do any of those things, and I have the ability to do any of those things. But it depends on meeting the client and finding out what's going to best serve their needs. So it made it difficult from a sort of personal marketing point of view, just to say, oh, I do lots of things, and you know, because it's that's more difficult, I think. So yeah, I would say time and lack of strategy would be my main challenges.
Well, those are very common challenges, and I mean, time management is something that remains a challenge. You know, CEOs of Fortune 500 companies have got their time management routines that they have to stick to, otherwise they can't get everything done. Business is a very time consuming thing, so I wouldn't feel bad if I were you, that you battle with the time management. But I know you attended our chat on taking control of your time in the Business Builder. You said that was a little bit helpful, so hopefully You'll
Oh,
begin.
I think it's been very helpful, and it makes me smile every time that maybe I should also mention the other thing I struggle with is saying no, and the business builder on time management has helped with that, because when you get a unsolicited DM saying, oh, I can really help you with TikTok, and I reply politely and say, well, thank you, but I'm not on TikTok, and they say, jump on a Zoom call with me, I'll only take 30 minutes of your time, and I can say, I'm sorry, it's not a priority for me at the moment. So I'm like acing that, using the priorities, and I know as well, sort of in the universal times, sort of more manifestation type thing, it's better to remain positive. If you say, I've got no time, or I've got no time, that's a negative way of thinking, whereas trying to believe that I do have enough time to achieve my goals is a more positive way to think about it. But yes, that time management seminar was really helpful.
Yeah, it helps to recognize that our time is governed by our priorities. So exactly what you said, that's not a priority for me right now. And knowing what your priorities are, because then you do make time for those things. And it might not be time for everything, but at least you're making time for the important things, which does make a big difference in moving forward. So it's a great time management to know your priorities. Um, but yeah, it is a challenge that many business owners face, and that's why we have roles cropping up like virtual assistants and PAs and or secretaries are as old as business themselves. So people who can manage your time for you. So it's not a new challenge
Yeah,
at
that's
all.
very true. That's very true. I know. I think for me, a lot of it's about it's very related to the lack of strategy, and that you're not really sure how much time you should be spending on each activity, and what activity, like where you spend your time, where is that going to get the best return, where it's that sort of lack of clarity, that sort of impacts on your time as well. Whereas like when you've got your strategy nailed down, it's a bit easier to allocate and time block to certain priorities in your schedule.
Yeah, it's funny, Rhona, I'm just thinking while I'm listening to you, I think all business owners do this, by the way. But we all suffer from what is known as a case of the cobbler's shoes. And it's,
Mm-hmm.
the cobbler makes everybody else's shoes beautifully and their children are running around barefoot. We never do for ourselves what we do for our clients. We always put that last because I'm just thinking you actually for your clients you are very good at prioritizing and strategizing and working out who they should be approaching and what offer they should be putting forward and how
Absolutely.
they do these things. You do it for other people and you do it wildly successfully and they're delighted, but you leave your own. And
Absolutely. I see that a lot in sort of various forums that I'm in. It does seem to be like, why can I do this? Why can't I do this for myself? And I think again that slightly that comes back to a confidence thing in a way, maybe. But that's all. Everything is work in progress. And other challenge, I suppose, which relates to time that I've had, is, which also sort of links in with what you were saying there, is that like I have not prioritized any sort of self-care, like things like exercise, and which I know is really important, but there's lots of other things that I've been telling myself, like, oh, I don't if I could just send this next email, and just every morning it comes up in my calendar, my exercise, and half the time I don't bother. I'm just like, oh, I'll just finish this, We'll just look for another comment to make on social media, and you know, so having that discipline, that's something that I'm working on at the moment to make sure that I'm a bit more disciplined, because you know everything's related. You've got to stay well and healthy to be able to go to work and to be able to do anything else. So
Very true.
I don't know if that's something that you've heard from other people in the early days of their business, that you know, it just becomes sort of all consuming.
Oh, yes. No, it's very normal for businesses to literally take over your life. And in fact, I warn people when they think they want to be a business owner, they need to be ready for the fact that the business will consume your life. And the aim is, of course, to build something that will stop consuming your life and start being a real business that can exist without you, and you can go on holiday because you have a team and, you know, the whole thing. That is what you're aiming for. But in order to build that, there is definitely a time period when you feel like there is nothing but this business and you just don't have time for anything else. And that is normal. It is hard in that time period to remember to look after yourself. And it is important. And I mean, I'm saying this as someone who managed to go through burnout 3 times, that you really should prioritize your self-care, because if you collapse, your whole business collapses. So in terms of self-care, what I always say to people is it's actually a business priority to be looking after yourself. It is as important to keep yourself physically and mentally healthy as it is to be getting your next client or to look after the client that you have, because you are this business. So if you suddenly end up in hospital or you suddenly end up with depression that keeps you in bed for 3 days, your business suffers, not just you. So it's important to look after you. And in terms of exercise in particular, or any form of self-care, in fact, any form of time management, my biggest tip is always just start small. Break things down into their smallest component, because when we look at something like, oh, I have to exercise and it's 30 minutes, even if we're doing it 3 times a week, that 30 minutes just feels so big. I could be doing so much work in 30 minutes. And I don't want to give that to something else. So instead of doing that, break it up into increments. So do some push-ups before coffee, do some sit-ups after lunch, you know, just tiny little pieces instead of that 30 minutes of full exercise. And the same with projects, especially the ones you procrastinate on, because generally we procrastinate out of a number of reasons, but the biggest one is normally fear. We're normally scared because the project feels overwhelming, or we think that maybe we don't actually have the skill we need to get it done. That's my biggest reason for procrastination. I always procrastinate on something that feels big, new, or overwhelming. And I think I'm not going to get this right, so I don't do it, which is ridiculous. It's like the most ridiculous reason not to be doing something, or to put it off because it's just going to get worse. So breaking it into small pieces and going, okay, I can't do this whole project, but I can open the web page and look. I can read through this section and reply to one email. And you just break it down into those little increments and tick those things off. It's so much easier to manage your time when you do that.
Yeah, that's really good advice. I know I keep telling myself that I'll listen to a podcast, or you know, like one of the many training things that I sign up for, and go like while I'm going for a walk, but doesn't always happen. And I am in Scotland. It's not always the weather for going for a walk. You think, oh, I'll just stay home. Sunny today though.
Oh, nice. I'm glad you got some sun.
Yeah, it looks good. Not been out yet, but yeah, I will. Well, maybe today's the day I go for my walk.
Very good idea. Sunshine is also very important for mental health, so you should always take advantage of it when you have it there.
Yes,
Rhona,
yeah.
my last question to you today is, what advice would you have given yourself when you started this journey based on what you've gone through so far?
Oh, I would probably sort of, I would probably say just be kinder to myself. You know, I've got very frustrated at times throughout the last year, that, you know, I just feel that, you know, I'm not being good enough. I've not, like, because the planning I do, such as the database I mentioned of, oh, I'm going to like pitch all these people, and then I don't do it, and then I get annoyed with myself and frustrated with myself. But sort of, so just to be, you know, be kinder to myself in that respect, to just accept that any challenges is all part of your journey, your learning journey, and that you are making progress every day. The other thing, I don't know if that came from the time management thing that you had done in the Business Builder, but somebody had said, make the goal, or the sort of step-by-step tasks, like those increments that you were talking about, rather than the goal is completing the whole project. So if you focus on the goal is to do three of the small increments, three of the tasks, then you don't feel so bad, and you don't feel like you're not hard on yourself for, oh, you've not got far enough, you've not done enough, and all the negative thoughts. And I would probably also advise myself to, you know, start with do a bit more research, to have a bit of a more of a strategy. And I know, like, that my strategy came through experience, really, but I could have, as you said, I'm able to do it for other people. So, you know, taking that time to and having, for example, now I am in a position where I've created a sort of daily checklist of ideal tasks, and so I have a plan. I know what I'm doing every day. My time blocking is better. I've built in flexibility for life stuff that always happens, you know, when a family member phones, or I have a son at university, and he quite often needs support, and that just can throw off your day. But it's just staying calm about those things, because I've got it covered, because I've built in extra flexibility time. So yeah, a bit more time spent on the planning side of things would be good advice.
That's excellent advice, and I must say I'm very impressed by your time scheduling, and the fact that you've worked in time for the fact that life always messes you around. It's a really important thing to do. That's something that many people don't think of. So it's very good.
I know, and there's always life stuff that crops up, whether you have like a doctor's appointment, or the dentist, or even today I've got to go and buy a new baby present for a friend. So because I'm going to be nearby their place tomorrow, so, you know, you've just got to fit whatever, like, your normal life stuff in somewhere. So, you know, it's always important to schedule a bit of flexibility.
It's excellent. You know, I read somewhere, and I still don't know where. I must actually Google it and find out the source. But apparently, as human beings, we have this ability to underestimate what we can achieve in a year. So we'll always make our annual goals much smaller than we can actually achieve. But we overestimate what we can do in one day. So we always overload ourselves with a to-do list for the day, and then feel bad because we didn't tick it all off. And this is apparently a very common thing. So I think the fact that you've gotten, you know, you've got your schedule sorted, you've worked in your contingencies for things to go wrong, and as you say, to just be kinder on yourself when you don't get them all ticked off. I think that is a fantastic advice, not just for your younger self, but for anyone watching or thinking of opening a business or battling with their time. That is really good advice.
Thank you. Yeah, well, we'll hope to. All I need to do now is stick to the exercise bit. But your advice today, that's helpful, because that's yeah, there's something about you always kind of like that. Well, I always feel guilty if it feels selfish to be focusing on myself and and doing exercise, and I enjoy exercise, and but I always feel, oh, I should be doing this, I should be doing that, instead of focusing on me. So look, reframing it as a important business activity makes sense, and that sounds like it might ease that guilt.
Good, good, yes, because it really is important to take care of yourself.
You
And
know,
we underestimate the effect that working constantly has on us. We really do. And it's fine for a while, but eventually your body betrays you. And mine betrayed me quite spectacularly in a number of ways. I can promise you want to be looking after yourself right from the beginning.
very good. It's very good advice. I hope you've got it all sorted now. I think by the sounds of it, you've learnt a harsh lesson there.
I did learn a
Right.
harsh lesson, but we're human. I still slip into my bad habits, and I'm still totally obsessed with my business. I've got to remind myself that hobbies are a good thing, that having a private life is a good thing. So it's you never. I don't think anyone ever gets to the point where they've got it sorted, and then
Mm.
they feel like they're waxing this business thing. They've got it sorted. They're a great business owner. I think we always keep learning, and that's good.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
So, yeah. Rhona, thank you so much for joining me today and for sharing your challenges and your solutions and your advice. It's been amazing. If anyone is watching and they're a holistic practitioner and they're thinking, I need Rhona to come fix my website, what is the best way to contact you?
Probably the best way is through LinkedIn. That's another thing. Although I do websites, and I have bought a domain name, but it's not been a priority to set up my own website. So I just really use my LinkedIn profile, which is just my name.
Awesome. I will put it underneath this video so that anyone who wants to connect with you can. And I do encourage anyone watching, even if you're not a holistic practitioner, if you just want to connect with Rhona and chat to her about her business building journey and her time management and her suggestions that she's made today, give her a shout, because I think it would be good to connect and learn from each other. So thank you, Rhona.
You're welcome. Thanks for having me on, and it's been lovely to talk to you as ever. Always leave with some good nuggets of information.
Good. It was such a pleasure chatting. Thanks, Rhona.